One of the very popular ways to buy things today is with a subscription. It's got some really good features to it, but there are some dangers too, because you can get too much. And how do you decide? Well, a buddy of mine, Aidan Crawford, talked to me about that, showed me an article he had written on it. It was very amazing. I said, I got to get him on Agorapreneurs to show you what you can do and how you can save money, and also a hidden bonus, a vendor to stay away from. You're going to get that and more on this must-see episode of Agorapreneurs.
Welcome to Agorapreneurs, standing for liberty and freedom, all done peacefully. Now, here is your guide, Terry Brock.
One of the really nice things about today is work with technology and many other services is that you can buy something on a monthly basis. So for every month you're paying X dollars, or every year Y dollars, you get it. We look at Amazon Prime. We're looking at things like Netflix and many good services that are out there. But after a while, you can run into a problem. And that is you've got too many and you've got more services than you really can use. And we need to find a way to take care of that. I was reading an article the other day that I thought was particularly good. And it was an article that talked about how you can find out what to do and what to look for when you're working with this. It was in LinkedIn here by my buddy Aidan Crawford, and he talked about how to use these items and what he's doing. I went over to his website, matter of fact, and looking at his website, he had some really good things to say here about how to use that, what to do, and what you can look at. And we look at his website here. We can see the article here about are you stuck in the subscription service money trap? And that really is there. And he said some things here that I thought was good. Like, for instance, this might relate to you as well. As someone who works with entrepreneurs, I see the same mistakes coming up again. At this point, I could easily go down the rabbit hole of hating on GoDaddy, but I'll just say I don't use them. And if you can find literally any other host. And I thought, oh, he's got my attention there because I've been using that. And I thought, okay, here's what we got to do. I am going to go over and we're going to actually find out what to do here and talk with the man himself. So we have now, via the wonders of Zoom and using eCam, we've got my buddy and my pal joining us right now, Aidan Crawford. Aidan, thanks for being with us today. How in the world are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Terry. It's great to be here this morning.
It is great to have you here. Now, you really got some attention there for me, talking about, of course, GoDaddy, but others, and we can go a lot of different directions. But before we go anywhere else, I wanted you to tell us a little bit about the idea behind that, the idea of the subscription model and where it can go wrong and some of the problems you've seen with your clients.
Well, a lot of businesses have instituted this subscription model over the last number of years for a really good business reason. And that is that people set it, they sign up, and they forget it because the number is so low, they don't even worry about it. Because
yeah, there's some advantages to that.
Oh, totally. And if you're a business, it's a great model to have. However, what I found, especially over the last 16 months when revenues were kind of shrinking due to the pandemic, that I was subscribed to an awful lot of stuff that I didn't use to its maximum potential, and it was costing me $300-400 a month on fixed costs of stuff I didn't really need. And I've worked with people before, and I can go through a whole bunch of services that are actually fairly pricey that people are spending money on every month. And I can say they're not using half of the potential of what they are. They never will. They sign up with good intentions, and then all of a sudden it's a year later, and they've spent $1,500. Because it's
exactly.
It's $110 a month, and you're like, okay, well, that's fair for Infusionsoft or whatever they've signed up for, and they've never used it for anything other than sending something to their list.
Yeah, I think so. And your article, I think, is so appropriate for where we are today, because we're seeing so many things that we do, and we have to step back and go, wait a minute, am I really using that? And so I want to develop some criteria that we can look at and think of, how should we use that? How do we determine that? But first, before we do it, because I'm working with GoDaddy, I've been with them for, I think, about 1,000 years. Okay, I say 1,000, probably about 20 years or so. I've had largely okay experience, but there's a lot of things that we don't know about, and it's a different organization than it was a few years ago. There's things different. Like, tell us a little bit, just kind of in a capsule, about GoDaddy. We could probably do another program on this exclusively, but GoDaddy versus the others, and why.
so this is I even specified this in the article. I don't want to go down a road of just hating on GoDaddy, but you opened the can of worms, Terry.
Yeah, that's true. And we can do that. So that's why, and I'm thinking, hey, we might need to do a program on that later, just seriously to look at it, not to put down GoDaddy, but to say, always keep checking. Things are changing constantly in the world. So don't think, well, I've used them for 2 years now, so I'll always stay with them. Not necessarily.
So I guess my big thing with the GoDaddy model is that they're very good at marketing. They don't seem to be very good at actually servicing their clients once you sign up, and they tend to nickel and dime you for everything. So they start off with this low monthly fee to host your website. But if you want an SSL certificate so that you've got a secure website, they charge you for it. If you want any other you want to add another website onto your account, they charge you for it. They just charge you for everything. I talked to you earlier about a client that I was working with at one point, who I said, okay, so we're going to need an SSL, we're going to need to get new hosting, blah, blah, blah. Comes back to me, he was being very proactive. Comes back to me a couple hours later. It's like, yeah, I just went to GoDaddy. I gave them $1,200, and
$1,200. That's some serious money.
It's like, what do you mean you gave GoDaddy $1,200? And it just turned out that when they itemized everything and charged him for everything he needed, it was an outrageous amount of money. Now, the flip side of that is just about any other host that uses a cPanel is a really good host and includes all of this stuff for free. Like, you shouldn't have to pay for an SSL certificate, right? If you go to a service like we've talked about HostGator or Skystra, there's a million different hosts out there. And you can research them to see which ones are the most reliable. HostGator, very reliable. A lot of people are using it. Bluehost, another one that people are using a lot. But they include the stuff that somebody like GoDaddy charges for. But GoDaddy is so good at the marketing.
Yeah.
People run out.
Good point. I think you have just saved people a lot of money, many thousands of dollars, just with that little snippet, looking at that. But I think that's also part of what we're talking about here. When you're with a service, you've got to step back and, as a business person, examine what you're doing and what you're paying for. And so what criteria do you recommend for the clients that you work with and others to decide, should I keep this service or not? What kind of questions and what criteria do you use?
Well, so first of all, am I using it to its full potential? So I mentioned earlier Infusionsoft. A few years ago, I was talking to a speaker at the NSA Influence Conference, and he was paying $200 a month for Infusionsoft. How was he using it? He was using it to send an email to his list every month. Right? He wasn't filtering. He wasn't using any of the features on Infusionsoft.
Wow. He's buying a 747 and only needs a car.
But the issue is most people are like that. They have good intentions. They sign up. It's like, oh, Infusion. I'm now picking out Infusionsoft, which is an incredible product if you use it properly. But if you're gonna sign up for something, be realistic on how you're going to use it. Just because a service can do something doesn't mean you're going to actually use it that way. And if your needs are very simple, look for a simple alternative. So what I've done is I went through a process a couple months ago where I actually went through all the subscriptions that I had, and I looked for some alternatives that would do the same thing for how I'm using it. There were trade-offs. Some of them didn't have the exact same functionality, but I'll tell you one of them that had a crazy amount of functionality that the brand name one didn't have, which was a lot cheaper in a bit. But just be aware, what are you going to use it for? And only pay for products or the services you're going to use. Good intent. It's like people buy the skinny jeans, going, I'm going to get into those skinny jeans, and it's like, but you're buying the skinny jeans that you will never fit into.
And they might not get into that. Yeah, that's right.
You're not going to inspire yourself to lose 100 pounds by buying a size 32 pant, if just by buying the 32 pant. If you're not going to use the service properly, don't pay for it. That's my criteria.
That makes all the sense in the world. I think of doing that. And then also seems like a careful evaluation every so often, at least yearly, would seem like a good, reasonable time. Maybe toward the end of the year, as things slow down a little bit, sit down and go, okay, what monthly things, pull out your statements and notice, okay, every month I'm getting this, or every quarter this come through, yearly this is, do I need to do that? And as we do that, I think we could step back and see some really good options that are available. Matter of fact, what you also do, one of the things I think that is really nice here is that you have looked at some of the areas that we need to examine to say, okay, is this something that I should be doing? Is this something that I should have or not have? And be able to take a look at it and see what are there. In your article, you mentioned that on things like stock photos and going off brand and what we should do with that, that you cited them here. If I can take a look at some of these here, don't be afraid to go off brand. And you cite some capabilities here. Let's go down here. We can add this up. I want to get your opinion on this. Looked at 12 months of Dreams Time subscription, $49 a month, $588 versus Unsplash, which is free. I like that. And MailChimp for $51 or $99 through SendFox.
Now, I'll tell you right now, the Dreams Time, I subscribed to Dreams Time for probably 8 or 9 years, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's a big chunk. And for me to grab some images for my blogs and stuff, but it's too much. I can't pay. Why am I paying that? Like over the course of 10 years, I've spent thousands of dollars on Dreams Time, but it was only $49 a month. So it didn't feel like it was that bad. Another one that I didn't mention there, there's a my ebook cover maker, I believe it's called. It's $9 a month. I've written one book, right? I've written one book. I've been subscribed to that since 2010 at $10 at $9.99 a month. They got a fortune off me. Now I use it for I've used it for different tools, like if a client's writing a book or they're creating a course, I can use it for that sort of stuff. But Canva does it just as well, the free version of Canva. And here I am. I gave them thousands of dollars over the last decade. I didn't need it. I just canceled it. You know what would have made a lot more sense? If I just subscribed for 1 month every time I had a project.
Ah, very good. I think what you're talking about is a way we have to examine it and not assume that what we did and what worked before is going to work now. And you have helped us a lot. When I saw that article, I thought, this is brilliant. I wanted to share it with my audience. And so, Aidan, we really thank you for that. Now, I'm not going to let you get away without telling people how they can get in touch with you. I know you help a number of speakers. You help a lot of other businesses as well. And you do a great job of it. I'm going to say right now, you didn't tell me to say this, but you do a wonderful job helping people. And we appreciate that. How can someone get in touch with you if they want to find out about what you are doing and offering to the public?
Sure. So right now, I guess you could go to shortcircuitmedia.com. That's my website. And
say that again real slowly. And spell that out for those who might not speak English as their native language.
So it is shortcircuitmedia.com. So circuit is CIRCIUT.
Or CUIT.
There you go. You think, I've been 15 years of typing it out and I still can't get it right when I say it. You can go to shortcircuitmedia.com. That's where my website is. Basically what I do is I help people look at their business through the eyes of their prospective clients. So if you're an expert, it's like, get your head out of your butt. How do people see you, not what you want to tell people? And then how to monetize your genius across different mediums. So that's what I do in broad strokes. If you go to shortcircuitmedia.com, you'll learn more about that. But really my job is to help people. I like helping people.
Yes.
And it's one of the joys of my life. I like partnering with people. So if somebody has some ideas, I'm a good guy to partner with. I won't rip you off.
Absolutely. You do a great job of that. And by the way, I love your background, your green screen there of Toronto. Like, as I've often said, Canadians are the nice Americans, and we appreciate what you do. And you embody. I'm not going to say that. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate what you've done. And by the way, those of you who are watching this, you want to tap into this guy, not just for his technology. Oh yeah. You know me, I work with technology. Well, I can tell you, Aidan really knows his stuff on this. He's good. But even beyond that, he helps with a lot of the business decisions, marketing ideas, helping you to get more business, helping you to do business in the right way. So tap into this guy, find out about how he can help you, and you'll be glad you did. Aidan, before we let you go, any final words you want to leave with us?
Yeah, just again, look at your statements, find out what you're spending money on, and then start paring it down. I was able to eliminate about $400 from my monthly fixed costs just by eliminating some subscriptions that I wasn't using to their full potential and finding alternatives. I went to appsumo.com and found off-brand alternatives. I mentioned earlier about the one service that was actually superior to the one I replaced, which was I was using Hootsuite, and I replaced it with something called Social Champ that I bought through AppSumo, $49 lifetime access. It has so much more functionality than Hootsuite. I was blown away. So sometimes the off-brand ones they try a little bit harder.
There we go.
Don't be afraid to try them out.
And it seems like also it would be important, because these are changing all the time, staying in tune with a group that you can trust, because none of us can stay up on top of everything that's happening all over this new software or that new thing, but being tied into a good group, a good source like you, and you give regular information. We go, hey, did you know they just put this on sale? It's on AppSumo for the next 15 days or whatever it might be. It's right there only for that time. You jump on it now, you get something, and you got something that's going to last you often for a lifetime without the monthly subscription. So those have some real capabilities. All right. Well, Aidan, again, thank you, sir, for all you're doing. And thanks for being with us today. We really appreciate it. And for those of you joining us, I want you to think about this. Think about what you're doing. Take a look at what you're doing, how much you're spending, time for an evaluation of what's there, and look at sources like Aidan and others that you can tie into that are going to help keep you up to date on what's going on. I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you very much for joining us today here on Agorapreneurs. We're all about your freedom, liberty, and being the entrepreneur that you are, reaching out to achieve the goals that you want. Whether you're an entrepreneur on your own or maybe operating within another enterprise or organization, whether you're a solopreneur or part of a much larger enterprise, we are here for you to help you get the skills and the technology, the right thinking of mind, right frame of mind, how to increase your connections, building those relationships in business that matter. Don't forget, we've got the 5K program, help you in creating content, no charge to you. You go over and you can look at that at terrybrock.com/5K. Notice the K is lowercase, and you'll be able to get that information, no charge, and you'll also be able to sign up for the newsletter that we send out, the Agorapreneurs Power Report, so you stay right up to date on what's going on. And if you need to reach me, my email is best way to get in touch with me, terry@terrybrock.com. Hey, thanks for being with me today. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.